The internet exploded before sunrise. No official statement, no press conference, just fragments, blurry satellite images, anonymous posts from military trackers, and one terrifying claim repeated over and over again. U.S. Army Rangers had allegedly crossed into hostile territory and stormed an underground IRGC missile complex hidden inside a mountain range believed to be nearly impossible to penetrate. According to the leaks, the entire launch network was wiped out in just 45 minutes. At first, most people laughed it off as another fake war story designed for clicks. But then strange things started happening. Communication outages were reported across nearby areas. Regional military channels suddenly went silent, and defense analysts who normally dismissed online rumors stopped talking altogether. That was the moment people realized something may have actually happened deep underground. But the real story wasn't just about an attack. It was about how quickly modern warfare can erase years of military preparation before the world even knows a battle has begun. For years, Iran's underground missile tunnel systems have been surrounded by mystery. State television occasionally showed carefully edited footage of massive tunnels filled with ballistic missiles lined wall to wall beneath mountains. Military commentators called them missile cities. Hidden launch networks designed to survive airstrikes and keep retaliatory capabilities intact even during a full-scale invasion. The entire idea behind these facilities was simple. If enemy aircraft destroyed surface launch sites, underground systems would still remain operational. And according to several defense reports over the last decade, some of these tunnels were reinforced so heavily that even advanced bunker-busting bombs might struggle to destroy them completely. That reputation turned these facilities into symbols of invulnerability, which is exactly why rumors of Rangers breaching one shook the internet so hard. Because if an elite force truly penetrated one of those complexes, it meant nowhere was safe anymore. But that wasn't even the craziest part. The operation allegedly began long before the first shot was fired. Online military watchers started piecing together strange activity across the region days earlier. Recon aircraft reportedly changed flight paths. Naval assets shifted positions without explanation. Satellite observers noticed unusual heat signatures near isolated mountain sectors. Then came rumors that cyber units had already infiltrated parts of the tunnel defense network before the assault team ever moved in. Some reports claimed cameras inside the complex briefly failed. Others suggested radar coverage glitched at almost the exact same moment communication towers nearby experienced interference. Nobody could independently verify those claims, but military analysts kept pointing out one disturbing detail. Operations like this rarely start with bullets anymore. They start with silence. If the reports are true, the Rangers may have entered a battlefield where the enemy's eyes and ears were already blind before anyone realized the war had started. And what happened next allegedly unfolded at terrifying speed. According to leaked discussions from defense circles, the assault force moved through rough terrain under near total electronic silence. No dramatic convoy, no giant invasion force. Just small, coordinated teams supported by surveillance assets overhead. Some online speculation claimed stealth drones monitored tunnel exits, while electronic warfare aircraft disrupted regional signals. Others believe local intelligence assets on the ground helped guide the Rangers toward hidden access points carved directly into the mountain. The deeper researchers looked, the stranger the story became. Several anonymous military commentators claimed the assault targeted not just the tunnels themselves, but the launch infrastructure connecting multiple underground chambers together. That meant the goal wasn't simply to damage missiles. It was to collapse the network's ability to function entirely. If true, the attack would have been designed like surgery, precise, fast, and devastating. And once the breach reportedly happened, the situation underground turned into chaos almost instantly inside the tunnel system. Reports described a maze built for survival during full-scale war. Reinforced blast doors, narrow vehicle corridors, missile rails hidden behind concrete partitions, emergency escape shafts leading into the mountains above. Some analysts compared the layout to Cold War nuclear bunkers designed to keep operating even after catastrophic strikes. But underground fortresses come with one massive weakness. If attackers get inside, escape becomes nearly impossible. That's why rumors of the first breach caused such panic online. According to leaked chatter, Rangers allegedly entered through a secondary maintenance access point instead of the heavily defended main gate. Moments later, explosions reportedly echoed through several internal sectors at once. Some reports even claimed launch crews were caught in the middle of emergency activation procedures when the assault began. Whether those details are true remains unclear, but one thing became obvious in the online reaction. People weren't just shocked by the attack. They were shocked by how fast the defenders allegedly lost control. The 45-minute timeline became the center of endless debate. Military veterans online argued that destroying a hardened tunnel network that quickly sounded impossible. Others pushed back, saying modern special operations are built around overwhelming speed and confusion. According to several theories circulating afterward, the Rangers may not have needed to clear every tunnel individually. Instead, they allegedly targeted critical choke points, ventilation systems, command hubs, power relays, and launch coordination rooms. Knock those out fast enough, and even untouched missile stockpiles become useless. Some speculation even suggests that thermobaric weapons may have been used inside certain tunnel sectors, though no evidence ever confirmed that claim. What truly disturbed analysts was a possibility that the operation had been rehearsed extensively long before execution. Because if a force could map an underground complex so accurately that it collapses within minutes, it means intelligence gathering had penetrated much deeper than anyone expected. And that possibility raised terrifying questions across the region. Then the information war started. Regional media outlets released conflicting stories within hours. Some denied any attack happened at all. Others vaguely referenced limited security incidents near strategic areas. Online accounts began posting alleged satellite images showing scorched terrain near mountain entrances, while skeptics argued the pictures were old or manipulated. But the confusion only fueled more speculation. Defense forums exploded with arguments over whether the operation represented a warning shot or the beginning of something larger. Some believed it was meant to prove that even hardened underground assets could be reached. Others argued the strike was psychological warfare, designed to force military commanders into paranoia. Because once a supposedly untouchable facility gets compromised, every other bunker suddenly feels vulnerable too. And according to some rumors, that fear spread fast behind closed doors. One of the most chilling theories claimed parts of the missile inventory had disappeared before the attack even began. A few analysts suggested commanders may have moved assets after suspecting surveillance activity in the area days earlier. Others believed decoy launch systems inside the tunnels were intentionally sacrificed while critical equipment escaped through secondary underground routes. The deeper people looked into these claims, the more impossible it became to separate fact from disinformation. But that uncertainty may have been part of the strategy itself. Modern military operations don't just destroy targets anymore. They flood the battlefield with confusion. If enemy commanders can't tell what was hit, what survived, or who leaked information, panic spreads faster than explosions ever could. And according to reports from the days that followed, regional military traffic suddenly increased dramatically. Bases reportedly entered higher alert status. Convoys moved overnight. Air defense systems shifted positions. Something had clearly changed. What made the story even more unsettling was how invisible the operation supposedly felt to ordinary people. There were no live broadcasts, no dramatic battlefield footage. Most civilians nearby allegedly had no idea anything happened until rumors flooded social media hours later. That's the terrifying reality of modern warfare now. Entire military infrastructures can disappear in silence while the rest of the world sleeps. Analysts kept pointing to one detail that haunted online discussions afterward. If elite forces truly reach a hardened missile city without triggering a wider public confrontation, then future conflicts may unfold almost entirely in the shadows. Hidden cyber attacks, silent drone surveillance, underground sabotage, sudden precision strikes before governments even issue statements. And the alleged tunnel assault became the perfect symbol of that new reality. As more speculation surfaced, another disturbing question emerged. Was the tunnel network actually the primary target? Some observers believe the real objective may have been intelligence collection rather than destruction alone. Reports circulated claiming sensitive systems, encrypted drives, and launch coordination data may have been captured during the operation. If true, That would explain why the assault allegedly moved with such urgency. Destroying infrastructure is one thing. Extracting classified military information from inside a hardened facility is something else entirely. And if data was taken, the consequences could stretch far beyond one tunnel complex. Military experts online warn that access to launch protocols or communication structures could expose weaknesses across broader defense systems. Suddenly, the story wasn't just about missiles anymore. It was about information, the most valuable weapon in modern conflict. The psychological impact may have been even bigger than the physical damage. For years, underground missile cities were presented as symbols of strategic deterrence. The idea was simple. No enemy could strike first without facing retaliation from hidden launch systems buried beneath mountains. But if one of those systems truly got compromised by a rapid special operations raid, the perception of security changes overnight. Rival nations watch closely when supposedly invulnerable defenses fail. Allies watch too, and adversaries start asking dangerous questions about what else might be vulnerable. Some analysts even argue the operation could trigger an underground arms race, with future tunnel systems becoming deeper, larger, and more secretive than ever before. Because once military planners realize existing bunkers aren't safe enough, they don't stop building. They build bigger. Then came the final layer of mystery. Several online researchers claimed encrypted military communications across the region spiked dramatically after the alleged assault. Aircraft movements increased. Naval deployments shifted. Satellite trackers noted sudden activity near multiple strategic sites. None of it proved the raid happened, but together, the patterns painted a picture of governments reacting to something serious behind closed doors. And maybe that's why the story spread so fast online. It touched a fear people already have about modern conflict. The idea that the most dangerous battles are happening where nobody can see them, deep underground, inside server rooms, through hidden surveillance networks, across encrypted channels invisible to ordinary civilians. Wars no longer begin with official declarations. Sometimes they begin with silence, confusion, and rumors spreading before dawn. And in the middle of all that uncertainty sits the alleged 45-minute assault that may or may not have changed the balance of power underground forever. Maybe some parts of the story were exaggerated. Maybe certain leaks were intentional disinformation. Or maybe the truth is even more alarming than what reached the public. Because if elite forces can infiltrate hardened missile infrastructure faster than governments can control the narrative, then the battlefield of the future has already arrived. Invisible, relentless, and moving far faster than most people realize. The deeper investigators dug into the alleged operation, the more terrifying the timeline became. According to several online breakdowns posted by former military observers, the first 15 minutes were supposedly the most critical. That was the window where the entire mission could have collapsed instantly. If tunnel alarms activated too early, defenders could seal blast doors, flood corridors with counterfire, or trigger emergency lockdown procedures designed specifically to trap intruders underground. Yet rumors claim none of that happened fast enough. Some reports suggested internal communications were disrupted seconds before the breach teams entered. Others claimed certain tunnel sectors lost power entirely during the opening moments of the raid. Whether caused by cyber interference or physical sabotage, the effect was allegedly devastating. Personnel inside reportedly struggled to coordinate, while explosions echoed through multiple chambers at once. And if even half those stories are accurate, it means the defenders may have been fighting blind inside their own fortress. That possibility triggered another wave of speculation online. Analysts started asking whether the assault force had help from inside the region itself. Some theorized that informants may have leaked updated tunnel schematics or patrol schedules weeks before the mission. Others believe signals intelligence alone couldn't explain the precision of the reported strikes. The most extreme rumors claim certain access routes were intentionally left vulnerable, almost as if someone wanted the attackers to get inside. No evidence ever confirmed those theories, but the suspicion alone created paranoia across military discussion forums. Because underground facilities depend on secrecy more than anything else. The second internal information leaks, the entire system becomes vulnerable. And according to some observers, that fear may have been the operation's true weapon. As debate intensified, attention shifted toward the technology allegedly used during the assault. Military enthusiasts pointed toward reports of advanced battlefield networking systems that allow elite units to coordinate in real time even inside hostile environments. Helmet displays, drone-fed reconnaissance, thermal tracking through concrete structures. Some even speculated experimental AI-assisted mapping tools may have been used to predict tunnel layouts during movement underground. A few dismissed those claims as internet fantasy, but others warn modern warfare has evolved far beyond what most civilians imagine. Today's special operations units don't rely purely on brute force. They combine surveillance, cyber disruption, satellite intelligence, and precision coordination into a single synchronized strike package. That's what made the alleged 45-minute timeline so believable to some experts. The operation wasn't supposedly fast because the defenders were weak. It was fast because the attackers may have repaired every second of it long before boots touched the ground. And then came the rumors about what was found inside. Anonymous accounts claimed sections of the tunnel contained more than missile launch equipment. Some alleged command centers house encrypted communication hubs tied to regional proxy operations. Others suggested advanced guidance systems and hidden drone infrastructure was stored deep within the mountain. One particularly viral theory claimed the facility contained mobile launch platforms capable of relocating to underground rails before emerging from concealed mountain exits. Again, none of those claims were independently verified, but the mystery surrounding underground missile cities only made the speculation spread faster. The less the public knew, the more dangerous the rumors became. And suddenly the alleged raid transformed from a simple military story into something much larger, a glimpse into hidden systems operating beneath the surface of modern geopolitics. Meanwhile, online satellite trackers kept searching for clues. Users compared before and after imagery of mountain sectors believed to contain tunnel entrances. Some pointed to fresh scorch marks near ridgelines. Others noticed unusual vehicle activity near isolated roads leading toward military zones. Skeptics argued the images proved nothing, but supporters of the story insisted the pattern matched emergency military containment procedures. What made the situation even stranger was a sudden silence from several normally active regional propaganda channels. Analysts noticed fewer publicized missile drills, fewer underground showcase videos, and reduced military media activity immediately after the alleged strike window. That silence only fueled the perception that something significant had happened behind the scenes. Then attention turned toward retaliation fears. If the operation truly occurred, many believe a response would eventually follow. Military experts warn that covert operations against strategic infrastructure can create dangerous escalation cycles, especially when public acknowledgement never arrives. Without official confirmation, governments can retaliate indirectly while avoiding responsibility. Cyber attacks, proxy clashes, maritime incidents, infrastructure sabotage. Modern conflict rarely unfolds in obvious ways anymore. And that uncertainty created another layer of fear online. People weren't just debating whether the raid happened. They were wondering what unseen consequences might already be unfolding because of it. One former defense commentator posted a chilling observation that quickly spread across social media. He claimed the scariest part of modern warfare isn't explosions. It's the delay, the period where something massive may have already happened, but ordinary people still don't fully understand it yet. That idea captured the entire atmosphere surrounding the alleged tunnel assault. For days, the world operated normally, while rumors hinted at a hidden battle deep underground. Flights continued, markets opened, news anchors discussed unrelated headlines. Yet somewhere beneath all that normalcy, people believe an elite force may have erased years of strategic military preparation in less than an hour. And that possibility changes how people view power itself. In the past, military strength was measured through visible displays. Tanks rolling through streets, massive fleets crossing oceans, missiles paraded before cameras. But now the most dangerous capabilities are often invisible until the damage is already done. Cyber units disabling infrastructure without firing a shot. Drones observing targets from impossible altitudes. Special operations teams moving silently through terrain before governments even prepare statements. The alleged Ranger assault became symbolic of that transformation. Not because of what was publicly confirmed, but because of what people suddenly realized might be possible. Some observers even compared the story to Cold War fears about hidden wars fought in silence between global powers. Back then, underground bunkers represented survival. Today, they may represent targets. And every year, military technology keeps shrinking the gap between secrecy and vulnerability. Satellite imaging improves. Surveillance networks expand. Artificial intelligence processes data faster than humans ever could in that environment. Even mountains stop feeling impenetrable. That realization terrified many analysts far more than the alleged explosions themselves. As the days passed, new rumors kept surfacing. One claimed emergency engineering crews rushed towards several underground facilities across the region immediately afterward. Another suggested missile assets were redistributed to mobile platforms out of fear-Morphix tunnels had already been compromised. Some theories became wildly exaggerated, turning the story into near science fiction. But underneath all the chaos, that one undeniable truth: people believed the operation was possible. And that belief alone reflects how dramatically warfare has changed. Because decades ago, a story about elite soldiers infiltrating a hardened missile city deep underground would have sounded impossible outside action movies. Today, people hear that same claim and immediately start analyzing whether drones jam communications or cyber units disable defenses beforehand. That shift in perception says everything about the modern battlefield. Technology has blurred the line between fiction and reality so completely that even the wildest military rumors now feel plausible. The final unanswered question, maybe the most unsettling of all: if this alleged operation truly succeeded, how many similar missions happened without ever leaking online? That thought haunted military forums for weeks afterward. Governments rarely advertise covert successes. Failures sometimes become headlines, but silent victories often disappear into classified archives forever, which means the public may only hear fragments of a much larger hidden conflict already unfolding across the globe. And maybe that's the real reason the story captured so much attention. It wasn't just about rangers, or missiles, or tunnels buried beneath mountains. It was about the growing realization that the world's most dangerous battles are no longer fully visible. They happen underground, inside encrypted networks, across surveillance grids, and through operations designed to leave almost no trace behind. By the time ordinary people notice something happened, the mission is already over. 45 minutes. That's the number that kept echoing across the internet afterward. Less than an hour. Supposedly enough time to penetrate a hardened missile complex, disable launch infrastructure, vanish into the darkness, and leave governments scrambling to control the narrative. Whether every detail was true may never be known publicly, but the fear surrounding the story felt real because it touched something deeper. The terrifying possibility that modern warfare has become so fast, so silent, and so advanced that entire strategic systems can disappear before the world even wakes up.